So what's your question, Elizabeth?
What activated this for me, or what the recognition was, the idea that external authority is false, and it's all about internal authority.
Good.
I've been teaching that, and for years now, and I have felt it since I was a child. And so my intuition has been very, 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 very dead on for about 9 years, and I've come to trust it and understand when it's right on.
And do you know what she is saying? She is saying, I'm having fun using my computer.
Yes.
That's basically what she's saying, because your intuition is like, well, you know, on computers people go to something called YouTube. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows of it, yes? Mm-hmm. It's a place you find things out, yes? Mm-hmm. Well, you have your own YouTube. Mm-hmm. It comes in through your intuition, and technically in the garden of the mind, it is the potato, the strong psychic radar. Continue, please.
So, I love the idea of the internet versus the internet.
Good. You can sign on, it's free. No bills, no service charges. No, well, you might have to look for some antivirus software there now and again, but you set that up with your protections. Yes, go ahead.
So I have come to trust when I feel that things are creepy and when they're not. I mean, and when they're right. I feel very strongly creepy, like intuitively wrong, about mind control.
Meaning?
It doesn't feel right to me.
What doesn't feel right?
I believe that human beings, that there are upper echelon human beings in our world who are corrupt, as corrupt can be, and they're controlling us through what humans can do, marketing.
Oh yes, all right. We want to know what you meant by it, yes.
That there is actually larger darkness acting and possessing them categorically feels wrong to me. And
why does it feel wrong? What doesn't feel right to you? This is what we want to know. What's wrong?
I know, I was examining this last night. I'm just going by feeling. So I'm just speaking what feels. It feels wrong. And so
what do you mean by wrong? We don't understand what
false, that it's not true.
That it's not true. So you are saying that you do not think possession and dark force energies are
right. I believe that humans, when they become dark, it is because they have forgotten. They have forgotten.
Well, certainly.
I believe that humans.
So you do not believe in any non-physical forces that could possess people or take them over and drive them further into in acts of insanity.
That's my trouble spot. And my question to you is, everything else has been
right on.
In the last 5 weeks with.
All right, good. Good.
So
this is brave of you to say this, because you know it's important to trust those feelings that come in, but they're not always right. But you must trust them.
Isn't this keeping us in the idea of external authority then? If there are beings outside of us, isn't that just perpetuating that whole idea?
Of what?
Of mind control? Of darkness bigger than us? How
we are not saying that this darkness is bigger than you at all. We are simply saying that it exists, and that there is consciousness and forms of being in the non-physical world who become attached or take over physical beings. We suggest that a few things. Sometimes when you don't want to know something, you move into denial, and that denial can cloak itself as wisdom. Look at the planet, it's full of people in denial and they think they're smart. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Your planet has a very strong history in all cultures around the globe who know about non-physical possession. It is cultural knowledge from from India, to the Poles, look at all the Catholic Church, the churches, everyone is very aware of entity possession. Ask any therapist, people who do deep work. There are non-physical forces that can take a person over because the person draws that to themselves. It is not that these dark forces are again an authority that you have to, that they have more power over you. It is that if you don't take charge of who you are, and if you, in your freedom to do what you will, if you choose things that have no morality, and if you have no bottom line about who you stand for, little crack peeps open. If you are disassociative from your body, you hate your body, you don't like your body, if you're on drugs, if you're an alcoholic, if you're on pharmaceuticals, you're not in your body. And so this is a massive problem, and we encourage you to face your own skepticism about it by studying it. And perhaps you will find that somewhere in your core there is fear, because somewhere along the lines of time you have met these forces and you don't want to know about them. We're not saying that's it, we are saying that's a possibility. The body sometimes will move into self-protection and keep one in a bubble of denial. And in all truth, Elizabeth, it's quite obvious. And we will say this to you. Sometimes, when you deny the existence of something, you attract it to yourself just to show yourself that it is really real. Do you understand? In the learning process, what you can set into motion if you do not open up a little bit to this? Ask your body why it is saying this is not true, that this is wrong. These are the words you used. Wrong. There are a number of books out there. We'll give you a little homework if you don't mind. Of course, we're not going to test you on it, but we'll see if you want to do it. There is a book called Healing Lost Souls. It is about entity possession. That is, some of it is very nasty, some of it is quite harmless. In this book, the gentleman talks about, and who is it by? William Baldwin, Healing Lost Souls. And he talks about people being possessed by kindly entities. Here's an example. A nurse or a medic would help people die, be there to assist them, ambulance drivers. And they're kind. And the dying people don't know where to go. And so they merge with the living person. Then what happens, the compassionate living person has anywhere from 3, 4 to 100 dead people sort of in a symbiotic relationship, operating out of their garden of the mind. Then the person goes to a therapist and says, I can't figure out why I can't sleep, why I've gained weight, why this is happening, I'm all mixed up. The person has what's called mental problems. These are not evil beings, these are just confused beings. Do you understand that when you are talking about possession, the range is fantastic. And there are entities that are ancient and they have names. And your global elite call these beings in, just like our vehicle says, okay, I'm going to do the P's. And we come. We follow her agreements. Our best advice to you is to face your own fears, because your body is tricking you on something that you don't want to look at, and it's helping you live in a bubble. Study. Look at some of this stuff and open your mind, and you'll be much happier. Otherwise, you could get slammed into something and you won't like it. Then you'll know it's really real. You with us? We are speaking to the best of your benefit, and we'll move on. We'll move on. Because we're not going to argue with it's just. We've said our piece. Now it's up to you to move your energy.
Yes.
We do not make things up. We do not lie.
Thank you.
Good. Questions?
Lucy,
Lucy.
I wanted to ask you about the timelines that are headed in. You had mentioned yesterday 5 years of